Hello and welcome back to the channel, and in this video I'm going to show you the different types of stops that you can put on your line when trying to build a rig or make float rigs. And some of these are adjustable, some of these are not. So let's go through them now from beginning to end. Right, let's get to it then. So the first stop that you can put on your line is an adjustable stop tied in power gum, and what we're going to do is tie a sliding stop knot. So this stop knot can be moved up and down the line when you dampen it, and then it will hold in place, and it's a good knot or good stop to use on adjustable float rigs. You can use it as a shock absorber between things, and it can be added after anything has been put on the line, so it doesn't have to be put on in your rig building process. It can be added after. So what I've got is a section of power gum here, which is like a gum rubber material, and the easiest thing to do when you're tying a stop knot, here it is, you lie the line parallel with the line that you're going to tie the stop knot on. You then create a loop around like so. Here I'll come back round over the two lines, and then I'm going to take the tag end of the power gum and wrap it around the two lines going in that loop. I'm going to do it 4 times, 4 or 5 times will do. And then what you do is, once you've tied it, you can pull it tight, put on both tag ends, and there you have your stop knot there on the line. Now you want to trim off all of those there so they're short, and this there is a very good knot or stopper to stop floats going up and down the line, stop beads, and this can be adjusted with a bit of pressure to move up and down. So there is your first stop. Let's move on to the next one. Your next stop that you can use when trying to stop something on your line is one of these rubber float stops. Now these need to be put on in the build process of whatever rig or float setup that you're going to use. You can't add these after, not like the stop knot here. You can add this as an afterthought. These have to be put in whilst you're building the rig, because they need the line to be threaded. Well, they need the end of the main line or your rig line to go through their little loop to be threaded on the rig. So as you can see, they're on these wire loops here, and what you do, you thread your main line or your rig body through the loop like there it is. What you do, you just fold it over, slide one of them over the top until the tag comes back out, pull that off, and there you have it. Again, very simple little rubber sliding knot. So now we're on to the third stop that you can put on your line, third type of stop, and this is again adjustable. And here we have it in my hand there, a very small piece of silicone tubing. Now what you can do with this, you can take your line that you've got. Again, this has to be added in the build process because you need a tag end, and you take your tag end through the tubing and out the other side like so. Then you loop the line back round and you take it back through for a second time, and then you pull the tag end, and then as you pull that loop and you pull it tight, you basically pull the silicone in on itself and through itself. So then you have this folded piece of silicone like so. This is, again, can be moved up and down the line, so it's adjustable. And these, all the float stops here, are really good, or even the stop knots above sequins as worm stops, and they are very quick and simple to do. So we're on to the fourth of the stops on the line, and this is the last of the adjustable ones, and it's a little bit more heavy duty. Basically what it is, it's the breakaway adjustable crimps. What you get in a packet, you get some of these rubbers here, you get some crimps, single crimps, and what you'll need to buy as well is the breakaway crimp tool for the adjustable crimps. It's very simple. What you do with these, you slide the rubber through the crimp, pull the crimp right the way up to the stop. You then cut off the excess, so you're left with that. Then pass your line through that rubber, and always do it from the stop side, otherwise you're going to possibly push this rubber back out. And it's very simple. You can line it up in the crimp like so, as you can see there, and you basically just push down on the handle, open it back up, and that has been crimped. Just pop that out of the machine, and there we are. Now, as with all crimps, don't crimp all the way along the crimp. The flared ends act like a funnel, funneling the line into the crimp. It's not so bad with these breakaway adjustable ones because they've got the rubber insert, but with normal crimps, if you do crimp all the way along, you haven't got the funnel that funnels the line into the crimp. So any slight slippage of the crimp, which does occur sometimes, can really damage your line. Whereas when the ends are flared, it's feeding the line in, so if there is a slight slippage, it's not going to cut into your line. But there we go. This is an adjustable crimp. It's tight on there, but if you do pull, you can get it to move. There we go, sliding down the line. This is a lot more robust and a lot more heavy duty than the other three we've done there. But there we go, 4 adjustable stops on your line. So the next stop is one that I use a lot, and it's not adjustable. It tends to be fixed in place, and it's a figure of 8 knot. So a figure of 8 knot, a simple knot that allows you to put a knot stop in the line. It's about 80% strength, and I prefer this to crimps because you can over tighten a crimp and then you can really hamper the performance of your rig. So a figure of 8 knot, basically take your line, create a loop like so, see the line in front of me, you then go create a second loop going under the main line again, so you've come back on itself across the line, you then come over, you're then making a loop and going under like so, and then all you do, take the tag end through your first loop and pull that tight, and there you have it, a nice knot on your line. There we go, fixed in place. You can put a bead either side of that with swivels and build rigs. That's not adjustable, that's fixed in place. So the next stop that you can put on a line, it's very simple. It's a crimp, which is basically just a metal sleeve that gets clamped on your line, and once it's clamped on the line, it stays in place. Now, I have seen people doing these with pliers. Do not do that. You can get crimping tools that, as you can see there, they've got the right size holes just to crimp these down to the right diameter to hold onto the line. So these are the smaller ones, and then these are bigger ones for doing large double crimps on bigger mono and wire. Now, I tend to only use crimps when using anything above £100. I don't like using crimps anything less. So what you basically do, you thread your line through the crimp, and then where you want it, you get the right size hole, get the crimp in place, and you press down tight. Let go, and there we have it. That crimp is in place, and as you can see again, I've left the flared top and the bottom running as a funnel, funneling that line through that crimp. So the next stop that you can put on your line is rig glue, and you can glue a silicone sleeve or a bead in place on the line. So simplest way to do this, again, thread your tubing or your bead, if the bead sits snug, onto the line like so, and then you dab a tiny bit of glue onto there. Capillary action should draw that in. And there we go. That is a fixed stop on your line. You can do it with either tubing or a bead, and that will work as well. And there we have it, all the different stops you can put on single mono to use on your rigs to either stop something that you want to adjust or to fix something in place. Working from the right, you've got the sliding stop knot. You've then got a float stop, rubber float stop. You've then got the knotted silicone tube. You've got a breakaway adjustable crimp, and these are all adjustable. You've then got a figure of 8 knot, a single crimp, or the glued tubing, or a glued bead. There we are. I hope this video has helped, and I hope it's given you some more ideas of how to do some things with rigs and rig building. Until next time, tight lines.